Hey everybody, today is Friday, December 19th, I believe. And today we are going to be painting our Valentine gnomes. So we have the gnome with the polka dot hat holding the heart. And then we also have the gnome with the hearts on the hat. So today is actually, I told you guys, I think on our sneak peek that I was going to start doing lives around 2 o'clock. And so this is my first 2 o'clock live. So if we don't have as many people here today, that's totally fine. I understand. But I had told you guys that I'm doing this so we could have a little bit more family time at night. So hey Danae, hey Sarah, how are you guys doing? Y'all, it's been a day. I've been running around like crazy. I actually took my new car in for its first oil change today. And I told them, hey, I want you to check out my tire sensors because they haven't been working right and, get my oil changed. After 2 hours of being there, they then tried to charge me $900 to change two tire sensors. And I was like, yeah, no, And then they brought it down to like $600. And then I still was like, no. And I was like, just give me back my car. They didn't even change my oil. I was sitting there for 2 hours, didn't even get my oil changed. So it's been a day. I hope everybody else is having a little bit of a better day than I am because my day has been kind of so far. But at least I get to be with you guys painting now. So I just washed some of these brushes right before the live. So I'm kind of trying to just dry them out a little bit before we get started. But I did start with 2 coats of white on both gnomes. So I did 2 coats with a roller. That's why I'm doing 2 coats. I use a roller to be really fast, but a roller doesn't necessarily put as much paint as a mop brush would. So people who are base coating or priming your wood with mop brushes, you might be able to get away with 1 coat. But when I tell y'all I do 2 coats, that's because I use rollers. So Danae said, wow, how annoying. Yes, very much so. Sarah said, hey, hon. Sarah, by the way, I did get your text the other day. I totally forgot to text you back, but my couches are all yours. We need to figure out how to get them down to you. So Danae says, I hate those places. You know what? Me too, girl. I honestly never go to a dealership to get work done. I almost always go to a guy that I know and that I trust. And in this case, I was like, no, like it's a brand new car. Let's get the service done at the dealership, and all that good stuff. And now I'm realizing why, or remembering, I guess, why I don't go to the dealership. Because it's insanity. They would charging $165 an hour for labor. Like to change a tire sensor, 2 tire sensors, $600. Don't think so. Danae says, I'm priming 19 presents. You go, girl. You sound like me. Alma says, are these blanks now available? Alma, these, I actually am sold out at the store, but I am trying to get to Pearland tomorrow to drop them off. I do have more cut. I just have to actually bring them into the store. So, I do have them. Hopefully they'll be at the store tomorrow, but as soon as I do get them brought up to the store, guys, I'll let you know. So, Sarah says, dealership prices are nuts. Yes, y'all, nuts. Absolutely nuts. And the funny thing is that my tires and my rims, I bought, I had to go get through discount. Long story short, I had a pothole and I took out 2 of the rims from my brand new car like a month or 2 ago. So, I called the dealership then to see what the price was on some new rims, and they wanted $1,100 per rim. And so I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So I called discount and just got, like aftermarket rims and wheels put on. So I bought the warranty with that. So now I'm just gonna go back to discount and say, replace my tire sensors for free, and I'll just keep on going to them until they can figure it out. Because the dealership trying to charge me $600, y'all, that's crazy. That's crazy. So. Hey, Anika, how are you, hon? Hey, Debbie. I was just telling everybody I had a craziness going on trying to take my new car in this morning to get its first oil change, and it was just a disaster, y'all. It's been a day. All right, y'all, this is my number 16 shader, and this is just a little bit of beard blue, just doing a little bit of perimeter shading on my beard. All right, now I am going to be flipping back and forth since I'm doing 2 gnomes today. So these gnomes, the good thing about them is that if you're doing both of these at the same time, it's all the same colors. So it's really easy to paint at the same time. But obviously you guys are just gonna see me kind of going back and forth between the two. Now on this one, I do get a little bit, I try to pay attention because these lines, like for instance, this line right here backs up to this line and it backs up to this line. So I've tried to kind of get any of those parts that are gonna back up to other lines, I try to do those first. So that like that hangover right there, I can then tidy that up by coming, you know, this way. So I kind of just look at it and try to eyeball which line falls behind which and which one falls in the front. And that's kind of how I go about what I'm doing in the order that I'm doing it. But it doesn't, you don't really have to do it in this particular order. I just like things kind of done like this. So trying to explain that though isn't always the easiest. I feel like my brain kind of does, I have a weird way of thinking about stuff. So for other people, they're probably like, I don't have to do that. Hey Mona, hey Carol. Hey Alma. Alma says discount tires the best. Y'all, I love them. I should have just gone back to them from the beginning and just said, hey, you know, the new sensors y'all put on aren't working. Can you put some more on and let's like troubleshoot it, you know? And so that's what we're gonna do, because you know, when you buy that warranty, it's kind of silly to not just take it back to them, because when you take it back to them and there's an issue, it's free. So that's what we're gonna end up doing. And y'all, I still gotta go get my oil changed. I told the people at the dealership, I said, y'all kept me here for 2 hours. And the thing I came in today for was an oil change. And you didn't even change my oil. I was very flustered. I called Zach afterwards and he was really flustered. And he made a phone call up there because he was like, I don't think so. So, y'all, I'm just kind of taking a little of that excess that's left in my brush and just kind of adding in some light strokes. Adding a little dimension to the beard. All right. Now, so on the white for both of these, I'm done. Or no, actually, let me do, I think I'm going to do this little, the cuff of his hat. Get a little beard blue on there. You really don't even have to shade that. Or you could shade it with gray. You know, you could use gray on the beard too. Me personally, I just like the beard blue. But, you know, everybody has different preferences. All right, let me wash this brush out. I think I might, trying to decide if I want to switch to a smaller width brush. No, I think I'll stick with the 16. If it gets too big inside of these hearts and stuff, I might switch to like a 10 or a 12. But I'll stick with this one and we'll see how it goes. I'm thinking next I'm gonna go ahead and do my pink. So I'm just grabbing that shading pink. This one looks like it has not been used in a while. I hope, okay, it's good. Don't say if it gets gummy, that's when I always throw it away. So Debbie says, I love the beard blue and white. Me too, girl, me too. And there's some things I would love the gray with, but I think it's the pink and the red of the Valentine gnome. I just really like it with that beard blue. And I don't know if anybody caught my mom's live, I want to say it was last week, on the New Year's gnome that she did. And she did she used the rake brush and did a gray and white beard. And it was really pretty. And I'll tell y'all, I pulled out my rake brush this morning and did that on this gnome right here. You might be able to see some spots that you could see through. I didn't get enough touch-up white on it, like right there. I attempted to do that, and it just did not come out very great on this one. So I was like, I'll just stick with what I know. So Sarah says, I love the beard blue. Y'all, it's such a beautiful color. It's really rich for that white. Great contrast to it. All right. Get a little shading pink. I'm going to use the same brush, y'all, but I am going to try to keep it on just the corner over here. I don't want it to be really wide, because then when I come in and I'm doing something small like this, it gets really difficult to do. Alrighty. Come in here and add a little shading pink on your pink hearts. Kind of want this to be a little wider. There we go. I didn't have it quite as wide as I was really wanting it to be. Now these hearts, I kind of allow them to, you know, come off of the board. Like I'm not trying to fill in that heart all the way around, or I'm not coming in on the side and filling in that heart. I want it to obviously look like it's cut off on that hat. Okay, just a little pink. Y'all, this camera angle is not the best. I moved my mount around the other day for our Zoom, and every time I move that mount around, it just takes me forever to find a good spot again. So I was trying to mess with that before I went live, and it was like 2 o'clock. It's like, okay, I gotta give up. So there is the pink shading on this gnome. We got our switch over. We'll do the pink shading on this one. Grab it in your corner. Come and pull it around. Y'all, this does have a little bit of water added to it. I know we've talked about that a lot. You're gonna want to add a little bit of water to your paint if you cannot get the long brush strokes that you're looking for. It also just helps to get a nice flow with that paint. So if it's real thick and tacky, add a little bit of water to it and see if that helps. So a little perimeter shading there. Now turn it around and do a little bit at the bottom. It feels so weird sometimes painting on a live when I'm doing stuff that I normally paint like 20 of at a time, because I feel like I'm kind of wondering where the rest of the pile is since I only have two. Two's so easy. Take a little bit that's left and just add a couple little swishes. That has some blue left in there from the beard, but that's okay. Here's your pink shading. All right, I think I'm gonna switch brushes completely. And I think this one is, it is all broken off of here. Let me see. It says 1/2 inch. A 1/2 inch flat wash. It's also about the width of like a number 12. So let me see, I think, trying to decide. I'm gonna do my peach next. That way, if I get a little peach into that shading red, I'm okay with that, but I really don't want to pull shading red into the peach with the brush. So sometimes I have to sit here and really think about that and look at my lines to decide what color I'm gonna do next. So this is your shading flush. I want to say it's number 30, 29 or 30. I don't have my, my chart here. Again, I'm gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna dip in the tip of the corner, make a little triangle, and go ahead and put it down and see if I can bring this brush all the way around before lifting up. That's what's gonna give you those nice smooth lines. Come up here, get a little bit on the nose. I just got pink on my brush, that's okay. This one kind of started to run out of paint right here, so let me come back over top. Here we go. All right, switch over to this one and do the same. He only has a nose, so nice and easy. It's a little bit harder for me personally to do like circles or ovals in one swish mark with the brush, like only putting my brush down once. I find it hard to do that. So I typically end up doing circles, you know, maybe 2 or 3 strokes as opposed to 1. Okay, so the only thing I got left, I'm gonna clean my brush back out, and we are gonna do the shading red on our red, and then I'm gonna blow dry it, and then we can start outlining them. Hey Kathy, hey Norma, hey Carolyn, how are you guys doing? Y'all, it's Friday. The kids get out of school today, or at least I would say most districts are out of school, and they're now home for, you know, winter break, Christmas break, however you want to say that. And I'm super excited. I've been telling Carly I just cannot wait to have a few days to lounge around and watch Disney Plus and, you know, have some lazy days with my kiddo. I'm so excited about that. So y'all, I don't know if I told y'all, we just discovered Disney Plus. Or actually like bought it or subscribed to it last month. And so now we've been watching all the good movies. And I'm like, why did we wait so long? It's so good. Dawn, hello, honey. How are you? We started watching Inside Out the other night, guys, and I was like, I forgot how sweet that movie is. So sweet. Absolutely love it. So we've been having some fun catching up on some old Disney movies. Old and new. I am not liking the thickness of this. I wanted or really the thinness. Let's see if I can get it a little better this time. I don't think I had it mixed quite good enough. Yeah, there we go. I like it to be thin, but not so thin that you really can't see it, you know? So I'm gonna kind of just come on this one. I'm really just doing around the perimeter. Now this is how I typically do it, but you could also go around the hearts if you wanted. Like you could come in here with the shading and then do the outside of the pink hearts. Really, it's a personal preference. I don't typically do it this way, but to me, since I did one, I have to just finish it. So I am gonna just do them all. I have a feeling this is going to take forever to blow dry with that blow dryer. Okay. Get a little bit up here, turn it around. I'm going to add a little bit down here. Has everybody been able to finish up their Christmas projects that y'all been working on? I actually cut out 2 6-foot nutcrackers to put on my front porch, on my columns on my front porch. And I have them base coated and they're buffalo plaid. I think they're gonna be really cute, but I still yet to shade and outline and actually, you know, finish them. So I was hoping to get them done this week, but it just did not happen. All right, there's our shading is done for this one. I'm gonna switch over and add a little bit onto here. The only thing on here I'm going to shade is the red hearts, the big heart and the little heart. The hat, the polka dots on the hat are just too small. So if I try to get any shading in there, it would just become a really dark blob. It would no longer have that pretty red color going on. So we're just going to leave those the way they are. Now in here, actually, I don't want to put switch marks in there with my shader. I'm going to do it, I want to do it with white instead. Come in, add a little bit here. Okay, now, let me grab my blow dryer. And let's get these drying so we can get them outlined. Debbie says, since Victoria told us to do C-shape, it has helped me a lot with the circles. Yes, it does help a lot. It really does, kind of taking it in certain motions. Brianna says, my kids and I are obsessed with Disney+. What took us so long? I don't know what took our family so long. But yeah, we finally got on the bandwagon and we watched Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3, and we watched those this week. I want to say we watched Home Alone. Was Home Alone on there, or was that on? Y'all, we have like Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix. I feel like we got one more. Can't remember what it is. So I can't keep up with where we've seen, but we've been watching a ton of Christmas movies. Let's see, Alma says, what color shading is that? Well, what I actually did was on my white, I shaded with beard blue. On my red, I shaded with shading red. On my pink, I used shading pink, and then on my plush, I used shading plush. Hey, Melinda. Hey, Cindy. Carol says, are those gnomes available to purchase? They are. I'm sold out right now, Carol, but I have more here at my house that are cut. My mom and I are supposed to be meeting halfway tomorrow, so I can give her the blanks, and then she's going to take them and get them put at the store for you guys. So as soon as I have them physically in stock at the store, I'll make a post and let you guys know. But they're $28 and they're 28 inches tall. And they do come with the cold roll, or not cold roll steel, a channel steak on them. I'm just trying to get it as dry as I can. Some of it isn't going to be perfect, but Luckily, the humidity's low. It's just not near as warm right now. Hey, Lynn, how are you doing, hun? Carol says, can I come by Monday? Sure can. Y'all, just FYI, we do close on Thursday, Christmas Eve, I think at 12 or at 1, and then we're closed for 2 weeks. So just don't forget about that. The shop will be closed for 2 weeks. We're doing some remodeling work and stuff like that. Plus, we always take 2 weeks off. We're family-run business. That's like our only quote-unquote vacation time for everybody, you know? So we do that every year. But if you have something you want to pick up that you know you want to work on in the next couple of weeks, make sure you get it before Thursday, next Thursday. I think that might be as good as I'm going to get it. It's still real tacky in places, but this one's going to be a little, this one's got a lot of paint on this hat. What's everybody doing for Christmas, y'all? I'm so excited. I cannot believe it's next week. Is it a week from today? I think it is, next Friday. We're not really doing much. My parents are gonna come stay the night and wake up with us and Carly on Christmas Day. We did that last year. We're gonna do it again this year. So I think Christmas Eve, we're gonna actually go drive around and do a Christmas light tour somewhere in Houston. Something Grove, Pecan Grove, Pine Grove, I don't know, somewhere over there. But other than that, we're just gonna, we ordered some honey baked ham and turkey, and we're gonna let them cook the meal for us, and we're just gonna take it easy. I know, Debbie, I know. Christmas is next week. It's crazy. Super crazy, y'all. I'm so sorry. This is just taking forever because I've got a lot of paint on here. Might actually just let this one sit for a few and work on outlining the other one and hope that this one will be a little drier. The only thing with that is I do 3 outline colors, so I really need to be able to kind of go back and forth between these two. So we're gonna make best of what we got here, y'all. Okay. Trying to think. I always do my polka dots with a script liner. I'm trying to think if I want to do. Let me do those first. Let me do those first. I am going to actually just grab a little bit of red. I don't have any on a cup, so I'm gonna get some red. Add some water to it. Anytime I'm doing anything with a script liner, I have a lot of water added to it. I need that paint to be a little closer to not runny, but almost dripping, as opposed to how thick it is. I'll show y'all what I mean by that if I can get this mixed to the right consistency that I like it whenever I'm outlining. This is how you guys see me get really long strokes out of something, out of my brush. It's because I add a lot of water. Let me see. See how that's really, really dripping? I might even need a little more water, but let's play with it and see if we like it. All right, kind of load it. This is my Royal Gold Script Liner number 4, same one I always use on literally every single piece that I paint. It's my beloved brush. I'm just kind of placing the brush down in the crevice and just really filling in that circle. Honestly, typically a lot of times whenever I do these circles, I actually do the whole thing with a script liner. I don't even come in here with a paintbrush beforehand. I just do it all at the same time like I would be doing it right now. But for the sake of a live, I was trying to see if I could, you know, speed it up a little bit because we have 2 pieces to do. And I'm not trying to keep y'all on here for like an hour and a half. So I went ahead and got a little bit of paint thrown in there this morning. think I need a little more water. It's still too thick for me. Okay. That's a lot better. Okay. That's the only thing I needed to do a script liner, obviously in red, just kind of touching up those polka dots. To me, polka dots, these polka dots are maybe 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches wide. They're kind of small. It would be really, really hard to do that with a paintbrush, you know, if you're trying to really fill that in. So if you find that that small area is hard for you, use your script liner to do the whole base coat of that red. You don't even have to try to come in there with a paintbrush beforehand. Debbie says, I find I'm using more water now. Yes, honestly, y'all see me, anytime y'all see me have something in a cup, it has water in it. And a lot of times it's, especially if I'm outlining, if I'm using that script liner, I definitely have a lot of water in it. No, I don't think I want to do black next. I don't know what I'm doing. I was thinking I was going to do black outline, but I actually want to do navy blue on my beard first. This beard kind of comes up into the hat, and the same thing on this one. It comes up into the hat and it comes up into the nose. So I'd rather do that beard blue first so that the black lines will be over top of the blue. So whenever I'm doing a beard or snow, I use beard blue as my shading color, but then I use navy blue as my outline color. So I'm just gonna add a little perimeter outline on here. I can really tell that my brush is needing a good cleaning with some Xylol because it's got almost a drag to it that I'm not caring for, and I can really feel that in the brush whenever I'm making motions. So I really probably should have washed it before I got on here, but that's okay. We're gonna make the best of what we got. Make it work. Let me turn it around for you guys. Hey Tina, how are you? Hey Candace, so glad you guys are here. Hey Dee, hope you're doing well. Okay. Now, I'm gonna actually take that excess off of the brush and just use what I have left in here, which is not much. It's almost dry. And just kind of come in and add some lighter strokes over top of the shading strokes. All right, there's this one. Now, I'm gonna switch over to this one and do the same thing, outline my beard. Since I already have that navy on that brush, you know, I'm able to switch in between both of these pieces very easily, and I can paint them both at the same time very easily because I'm using all the same colors. So I really like to group if I'm having to do multiple patterns at a time, or if I'm doing, you know, a lot of different things and I have 2 different patterns that have the same exact color schemes, then I do, you know, have that option of being able to put them on my table and do them all at the same time, because it's not going to slow me down. If I was trying to do 2 different patterns that had opposite color schemes that didn't have any, you know, correlation or, excuse me, likeness between the 2, then that really wouldn't work time-wise if you're trying to be fast and efficient. And anybody who paints for a living, you know that you've got to try to be fast and efficient, because that's how you make your money. So, hey Fab Fabrics, how are you guys? At this point, I'm really just following those CNC lines that are already there on that wood for me. Kind of just coming in, getting them filled in. The nice thing about these are pieces that they're etched. That etching makes it so much easier No matter what, no matter how many layers of paint you put over top of that, you're still able to see it when you're actually painting it. And a lot of times whenever customers actually sit and look at the product or are walking around the store looking at it and they can see the etching, they're like, wow, that's really cool. I'm like, yeah, it is. So I don't think it's something that ever takes away from the product, that you could still kind of see that and feel that when it's finished. I think it just adds a little more to it. There we go. Wipe off that excess. Just use that little bit of paint that's still left in my brush and kind of come in for just some light strokes. I did drip some paint here. Now I'll leave it. I feel like if I try to move it, I might just make a smear that'll make it a lot worse. So there's your outlining so far of the beard. I'm good looking for gnomes, and the painting is so soothing to watch. You know what? I agree. I actually watch a lot of other painters. And you know, just I get mesmerized watching other people do it too, or watching anybody do anything. Have y'all ever watched people make candles or do glass blowing? That's really cool too. I enjoy that. It's super soothing. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. Alma says it's amazing how the shading really makes the piece pop. It sure does, Alma. It sure does. To me, you can't not shade. It's kind of like highlights. What? No highlights? You have to have highlights, y'all. You know, shading and highlights and outlining, it just all goes hand in hand. I love them. I want people eating. You want people eating. Meaning like, oh, you watch people eating? Is that what you meant? Like watch videos? Because if so, that would be annoying. I feel like they'd be smacking and stuff. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, now, since I finished the white, now, I finished outlining the white. We outlined with navy blue. Now I'm going to start outlining all the rest. I'm actually going to switch it. This one's still real wet. I'm going to see if that one can dry a little bit more. I'm going to outline everything else now other than my flesh with black. So, y'all, I have started filling paint with a new black. It's a new brand than the one we've used before. I really wasn't happy with the black that we've been using. And you guys have even commented on the lives, like, is that blue? And I'm like, no, it's not blue, but it goes on looking like a black blue and then it dries black. But I just didn't care for the consistency. So I found a new black that I really, really love, but I have to say, this one's not as good with buffalo plaid because it's thicker. It's really thick and rich. And the old color was almost really thin. And so the thinner black is great with buffalo plaid, but this thicker one is great with everything else. So those of you that buy paint from the store, you'll start seeing this new black, and you guys let me know what y'all think about it. It's a little on the thinner side compared to the old one, but the coverage that you get from it is insane. And it's really, really like smooth and rich to touch. It's a really great black. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but you will notice it is a little different. Also, the red that we use, the plain Jane, like Christmas red, you know, I think it's red number 20, has been discontinued from our manufacturer. And so now we have to go find a new red. And anybody who's painted before or is in the arts and crafts world when it comes to painting, you know that finding a good red is hard. And so we have not ventured out to go looking for a new red yet, but that will be here in the near future. And wish us luck on that, because it's really, really tough to find a good red that has good pigment, that, you know, isn't too thin, that actually has the red color. I mean, the pigment in red is just kind of crazy. But man, this black is so pretty. I didn't really realize that there can be different blacks, but there really is different blacks. This one is a really shiny one. I think the other one we were using was more of a dull kind of finish to it. Kind of surprised that red didn't come off because it's still really wet where those polka dots are. All right, there's your black outline on the top. Now we're gonna flip it and do our shoes. Let's see, I've gotta read. I don't have my iPad today, y'all. We don't even know where it is. Oh, it might be over there, but it's been dead. Brianna says, yes, I love the shading. Since I've joined and watched y'all's videos, I started shading and love the outcome every time. That is so, so awesome, Brianna. I love to hear that. Love that, love that, love that. It really does make a difference, you guys. And if anybody out there is trying to sell their product and, you know, make some money on the side or even open a full-time business or whatever it is, but if you're doing this, you know, like I said, as a hobby, trying to bring in another income, you'd be surprised how much more you would be able to sell, you know, by doing the shading and the highlighting and little things like that. Because it really does make a difference to customers. Okay. So black outline is done on this gnome. I'm going to switch over, move this one out of the way. The only thing I got left to do is outline my nose and my hands and then do highlights on him. This one, let's do our black and then it'll be nose and highlights. So, hey Charlie, how are you? Hey Randy. Onika says, I get so nervous when you stir the paint over top of the piece. I'm scared I'm gonna drop it. Actually, I have before, many times. And then when I'm cleaning it, I've had it wiped all over my face and alive. There's plenty of that. If you've watched any of the old videos. She says, I want to be in the whole other room if you do that. Honestly, y'all, I do it so much that it just is like, whatever. I just clean it up and keep on moving. I'm so used to doing it that it just doesn't bother me when it actually does happen. Now, if I were to drop wet paint over a finished piece that's like glittered, yeah, that would be a bad day. I would not be very happy. But one that I'm still working on, it don't bother me. I can always clean it right back up. That's the nice thing about paint, y'all. You can fix your boo-boos. It's always possible to fix those boo-boos. I think that's why I enjoy this so much. You know, it's kind of like math in school. I always loved math because there's always a way to find the answer. So I knew, you know, once I found the answer, I could kind of do my work and check it and like do the work backwards to make sure that everything lined out. And if it didn't line out and it didn't add up, then I knew I did something wrong. So that's how I knew I had to go back and, you know, keep working on it until I could get it to work. And so that's something that I've always loved about math and really enjoyed about math. And maybe that's also part of why I really enjoy this, is because it's something I can really easily, you know, come back, take care of it, and if I don't like it, I just fix it. Like there's always a fix to it, you know. Paint over it, no big deal. I do kind of feel like I'm moving a little slow and sloppy today. I have not actually painted very much this week at all. I only worked on those nutcrackers for my house, which are only base coated. That's it. They don't have nothing else done. And other than that, I've been kind of, honestly, I had a day where I laid in bed and watched Blacklist all day. I love that show. And then, let's see, I had a lot of running around and doing errands this week, like crazy. So maybe I'll get my nutcrackers done next week, or maybe next year. Who knows? But one of these days, I'll get them done. So, there's the outline on the hat. Now I'm gonna rotate her and do a little bit down here on the perimeter. Christy says, "God, I have to catch the replay." Oh, sorry, Christy. Yeah, I know. It's the 2 o'clock now, y'all. I'm doing a lot of the lives at 2 o'clock. I think the only time I'm doing anything at 7 is in the Yard Art Academy. Other than that, all of my lives will be at 2. And I called my husband and was talking to him earlier, and you know, we were talking about our whole fiasco with the dealership this morning. And so he was like, well, when they call me back, I'll call you. I said, I'm going to be on a live at 2, but from 2 to 3. So don't call, you know. And I said, but hey, I'll be done working by the time you get home. And we got a whole night together. And we were both like just excited about that. It kind of might sound silly, you know, but it's nice. It's really, really nice. Super excited to have a night just where me and my family can just chill. I don't feel like we've had that very much of that lately because we've also been really, really busy. But that busyness is really toned down a lot. So that's exciting to me. All right, now I'm going back to that shading red. Same red that we used to shade our red number 20 with. I'm actually going to add more water because remember I told you guys when I shade I have water in there, but when I outline I add more water to it. So I'm adding more water. I'll probably have to add a little more. I need this to be a little thinner. Me trying to outline with thick paint, it's just never worked well for me. My brush does not go very far, and I can tell this needs more water. And I need to probably just go fill that up, but I forgot to do it. Sorry, y'all. Let's see. My piece is super, super wet right now. So you guys might, at the close up after I get done with this, y'all will see that I've got colors running into each other on these outlines, but ain't nothing I can really do about it. I could always clean that up when it's dry, no big deal. But typically whenever I am painting these to sell, I'm doing so many of them that I go around the room and like, for instance, if I'm doing the black outline, I'll do the black outline on 20 pieces in a row. All 20. I roll around the room, black outline, black outline, black outline, black outline. And then by the time I get back to the very first one I did, that black outline's dry, so I can go do that next color. And I don't have to worry about the paint really coming and getting mixed in together. But I don't know if y'all could see that. That blue is really coming into the black on that outline, but I'm not worried about that. It'll dry, and then if it's something that really bothers me at that point, I can always touch it up. Little shading red, and we are just going to do a little perimeter on your flesh. Now, guys, if that shading red is too dark for you, feel free to just use shading flesh. So the same color you used for your shading, use that as your outline as well. You could really do it either way. Some patterns I don't outline the shading flesh, and some patterns I do. And I just really like the trio outline on this one, on this gnome. And what I mean by that is I have black outline on here, I have navy outline on here, and I have shading red outline on here. So, of course, there we go. I was trying to clean up a boo-boo and made another boo-boo. So the three different colors together to me are what really makes these pop. And I just like it. But if, like I said, you don't care for that shading red on your flesh, on your nose and your hands, just go ahead and clean up those lines with a little bit of shading flesh as opposed to shading red. Alrighty, now my gnomes are completely shaded and they are completely outlined. So y'all know what I have left to do, and that is highlights. And then we are done. Let me clean that brush out a little bit. Let me actually get some caps on this paint. I have 4 uncapped things over here. Cups. I don't think I have any more caps. That's probably why. Oh. I'll have to get some after we get done. Put up the ones I can before I make a big mess. I'm really good at making messes, y'all. Okay, now let me just grab white. I don't have any. I will make me one. Again, this needs a lot of water. Like a lot of water. Whatever reason, that white, I feel like I definitely add the most water to white. Out of all the colors, white probably gets the most. Just gonna get this mixed up until it's smooth. It still has some kind of chunks in it. It's kind of nasty when you first start getting it mixed in. Nope. I like it to be dripping. That's the consistency I really like with this white and the black too. So when I lift my brush up, if it's not dripping quickly, that's a slow drip, right? That's how I know I don't have enough. That's just me though. This is my old brush that has painted thousands of pieces. It's worn out, it gets used all the time. So my old brush really needs a lot of water, y'all. Your newer brushes won't. But that's how I like the consistency of my white. Really, really dripping. And then basically I load it and I'm offloading it. I almost take off all of it and then just do a little bit in the tip. And kind of just start coming in and adding a little bit. You don't see it as much here on the pink, but I think it still makes a difference when you're up close. Now over here on the beard, I think some of y'all were on here with me at the beginning. I told y'all that I tried to use that rake brush and do a little bit of a different beard technique than this, and it looked terrible. I did not care for it. So I actually painted over it, but you can still see some of it through my paint over. So I'm gonna turn it around. Let me get this side. I really try to bring that white in pretty much everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere I possibly can get it. There is the finished look on your polka dot hat. I can't think of his, I was supposed to say polka dot stocking, y'all. The polka dot hat gnome. That is your finished look on him with his highlights. Let me move him aside. And let me get some white highlights on our other gnome. Same thing, load the brush, offload the brush, do a little in the tip. Okay, come up a little bit around here. And my little heart down here. Let me turn it around. Get a little bit right there. And that's it, y'all. That's my finished look. Alrighty. There is the gnome with the hearts on the hat. The finished look on him. And then your gnome with the polka dot hat. So as a recap today, let's see, I started with 2 coats of white with a roller on both pieces. The reason I did 2 coats is because I used a roller, and rollers cannot put as much paint as an actual paintbrush can. I use rollers to be fast and efficient, so that's why I use them. So 2 coats of white as my base, as my prime. And then I came in with light pink, red, flesh, and yeah, that's it. Light pink, red, and flesh. And then I came in and I did shading. I did shading pink on my light pink, shading red on red, shading flesh on flesh, beard blue on my white. So that's it for my shading. And then now outlining on that beard blue on your white, we used navy blue for outline. On our flesh, we used shading red for outline. And then on all other things, we used black for outline. So I call that a triple outline. You get 3 different color outlines. And to me, that's really what makes your piece pop, stand out. So you could see kind of where those outlines are meeting up, the color distinction between them. And that's why I like it so much. I love it. I think it's so cute. So, you guys, these blanks are $28. I am sold out at the store, but I have like, I think I have like 30 of them cut here. I got a lot. I'm going to be getting those to the store tomorrow. As soon as I get them to the store, I'm going to post and let you guys know so you guys can order. My apologies. I just have not made it down to Pearland this week. Or actually, I did. I just totally didn't bring blanks. So, oops, my bad. Dee says, love those. Super cute. Debbie, thank you. Everyone have a Merry Christmas. Yes, you guys, y'all have a Merry Christmas. Let me see. I have the calendar. I'm trying to think. Does anybody... okay, so Valentine Dog Academy has a live on Monday, the 21st, with the Valentine Dog with Mary. And then after that, we don't have anything until after Christmas. So... hey, Mom, you missed everything, but oh, yeah, they were super cute. So you guys can look for Mom, look for Mary on Monday at Yard Art Academy, those of you who are in our private group. She's going to be doing the Valentine's Dog. And other than that, we will post and let you guys know when these are back in stock at the store. And don't forget that we close next Thursday at noon or 2? At 2 o'clock. And we do not open until January 9th. So anything that you guys are wanting blank-wise or paint-wise, make sure you come in before next Thursday. So sorry, everybody, that this was so early, but I'm so glad a lot of you were able to come and hang out with me at 2 o'clock. I appreciate that. And other than that, I will see you guys after Christmas. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a great holiday. We'll see y'all later.